Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 2CTV, your global news channel. I'm Maya Tusi and this is your latest news update from the United States. The nationwide unrest continues across America as the local law enforcement, with the support of the National Guard troops and the US Marines, are trying their best to bring back stability and order into the major cities. We are now seeing protests and riots reaching almost all the states, most of the states that you've actually had some of the protests over the last few weeks. Of course, LA in California has been leading this. Despite the National Guard trying to control the situation, it is still ongoing. And yesterday we had the No King's Day protest, which obviously turned violent. We're going to give you guys the latest videos on this. And of course, later today, shortly after this, we're going to come back and give you guys the latest breaking news coming from the Middle East as Tehran, the capital of Iran, is now basically in the control of the IDF and the Israeli Air Force jets. Mossad underground are operating massively. There's a lot of assassinations happening. The main headquarters of the police has also been destroyed. We're going to give you guys all the update first. Let's talk about what's happening in the United States. The US Marines face-to-face with the protesters outside the LA Federal Building. Tense situations again, as usual. Let's go. Yes, of course, the left-wing troublemakers alongside the illegal aliens who don't seem to actually want to stop effing around. They seem to think that they have the streets under their control, mostly because, especially when you look at the states that is under the control of the US Democrats, they seem to be allowed to do whatever they want, and the police are trying to arrest a number of people. Unfortunately, many have been injured. There's been a couple of very, very bad incidents that happened, including shooting, including car rammings, but it's still ongoing. Now, staying on LA, downtown Los Angeles, of course, the LAPD once again issued a dispersal order, tear gas, everything. People stayed out. Meanwhile, ICE agents under the leadership of Tom Homan continue to do their immigration raids and deporting the illegal immigrants. That aside, this is exactly what they wanted. This is exactly what the Democrat establishment wanted. They want to cause chaos on the street so they could blame it on President Trump by saying, this is what you get when you have Trump in office. Things just fall apart. Well, why are things falling apart? It's because you guys, with your lobby, are giving money to these people to organize these riots and protests, and you're paying them money and you're giving them lawyers paid for in case they get arrested and detained. This is what you're doing. So you're saying, well, just chaos randomly happens. It's not random when you guys are doing it. And then obviously, as I said, they'll just want to blame the White House. Now, Antifa, the organization that is essentially a domestic terrorist organization, came out. About 100 to 200 of them were being tackled by the police in Philadelphia. Obviously, they all wear full black, covering their faces like cowards. Confrontation erupted shortly after about 80,000 people who were part of the No Kings protests caused trouble. Let's go to the video of the clashes between the police in Philadelphia and the Antifa side. By the way, side note, as I said, we will come back shortly after this live stream to give you guys the latest updates from the Middle Eastern conflict between Israel and the Islamic Republic of Iran. But we've just received some breaking news, which we'll cover fully later on. Vladimir Putin has now ordered the Russians to evacuate Iran. This is the same situation we had when Bashar al-Assad in Syria fell. The Russians also ordered evacuation from Syria when they knew that this was the end of the Assad regime. We'll come back to that. Now let's go and talk about what happened in Salt Lake City in Utah. Thousands of protesters and rioters and illegal aliens obviously took control of the streets. Now, there was a demonstration first. They were marching. That's why the media continues to say it's largely peaceful protests, but obviously violence broke out as usual. Then multiple gunshots were heard. The crowd was started to run for cover. Things kicked off from there at this so-called largely peaceful protest. This video's quality is very low, but you can just about see the blurry crowd.
Oh my God, that's a gun. That's a gun. Come on. Come on. Get out.
We might want to back that.
I think those are gunshots. Is that someone? Shut the fuck up.
Zoom in, babe, zoom in.
Yeah, this was where we started getting the sad updates that a shooter was seen, alleged suspect who was actually then arrested. There is a photo of the suspect in the moment of arrest with the crazy big hair in Salt Lake City, Utah. And we do also have the video of the moment of the arrest. The number of officers in SWAT uniforms basically took him down after the shooting in Salt Lake City on the streets. We can show you that video as well. Then we're going to come back and with more updates and get your reaction.
Stop filming, you idiots!
So yeah, that was Salt Lake City in Utah. There have been a number of other, so-called incidents. There have been attacks, car rammings, and other violent acts. But in Portland, which is still relatively controlled by Antifa, the far-left mob tried to torch the ICE building in the city. So fires were set just very close by to one of the schools, elementary schools in the area, which is not really a wise thing to do when there will be, obviously, I mean, it was Saturday, but it's still school for kids that you are putting at risk. Let's quickly take you to that video, and then we'll come back.
What the fuck? Dude. That's a fucking, is that not a gun?
Yeah, that's a metal gun. That's a pistol. So it's like a 9mm.
Yes, we're also getting some updates about chaos in Tehran. The water infrastructure has now been destroyed. There's a bit of a flooding situation in the capital, so stay tuned with that as we bring you guys all that information later. Now, moving away from Portland, in the US. Going back to LA quickly, because there's a video just showing the absolute chaos of the clashes. The problem is, as I said, it's the job of the FBI to continue their investigation to identify those organizers who we know they are paid actors to cause this. And these are the people who claim that President Trump is the enemy, and apparently President Trump is anti-democracy. The same people who are currently trying to burn down the cities in the United States. The same people who didn't accept the result of the election. Apparently, these are the good guys. By the way, some of these guys, as I said, some are paid to be there, but the others, especially the more younger members of Antifa, they are the ones who just emotionally just like the idea of chaos. So they are professional rioters wherever they go. It actually completely undermined the rest of the No King's Day protests, the actual demonstrations and those who were marching. And also they were quite smart this time. They thought they've been getting bad PR in the media with all the Mexican flags and everything else. So they started giving people, the protesters, American flags for free. Like, have an American flag. Those who want to go to the front, carry an American flag. Some of them didn't like it and burned the flag, but the others took it. They were like, okay, it's probably a good idea, because otherwise we're all gonna get called Mexican or whatever, or illegal migrants. This is what they were doing. And they're not fooling anybody, but they think they're trying their best. Anyway, the federal building in LA, initially what was outside was the actual big crowd, big protest. Then when the riots broke out, the police wasted no time. You had the flashbangs, the tear gas, rubber bullets, batons, everything else. The LAPD have been under pressure over the last week to step up their game, and they seem to be finally doing it. Now, as this chaos continues, President Trump just said we are currently not involved in the war, but it is possible that we might get involved. So keep that in mind until the actual report later. So everything is happening at the same time. Now, moving away from LA, if we go towards the east, let's talk about New York City. Yes, protesters and the rioters were arrested outside the ICE Federal Plaza in Manhattan. Hundreds of them were marching around the area. And then, obviously, the NYPD decided to... When it was just a protest, it was fine. But when the first few people started attacking the NYPD officers, things kicked off. Big shout out to Freedom News for being underground.
Move! Move! You don't move, you get locked up! Move! Move! What are you taking a break? Real tired from your job? Thank you. Back up! On the sidewalk! Hold on, guys.
A huge number of people have been arrested. Apart from the shooting in Salt Lake City, we have to also talk about what happened in San Francisco. A driver hit at least 4 people on the streets. Luckily, the injuries are non-life threatening, so that's good. We also had in Culpeper, Virginia, Culpeper County in Virginia, a man drove an SUV into the crowd, injuring at least 1 person. We're still waiting for the details on the severity of the injuries, which we'll bring you guys later as well. So it's a day of chaos again in the United States. Let's get some reaction from the lovely people in the live chat right now. We got Vinny King, super chat. Thank you, Vinny, saying Happy Father's Day, Amir Tusi. That's my father. Freedom awaits. Thank you very much, Vinny. He's very excited, also very nervous in Tehran. Vinny says you're gonna hit 1 million subscribers in your birthday month. Yes, we are now at 932,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for all the love and support from all around the world. And a super chat from Israel. Have you heard what's happening in Egypt? Yes, the Egyptians are kicking off with all their left-wing weirdos who've gone to obviously march towards Gaza. They've increased their security. There's also some issues with the Egyptian government when it comes to the tensions in the Middle East. We'll cover all that later. There is a couple of non-super chats. Then we're going to go to the members of 2CTV Plus. Alternative Tentacles says, I am in Southern California. Most people know it's a bunch of paid protesters sponsored by bored wealthy liberals, like the lady from Walmart family. Yeah, that's just one of them. Although, again, not all of them are paid, but the top figures who are organizing and coordinating the protests and riots are paid. Their lawyers are paid. Everything else, well, they're paid for the lawyers, basically. Peter says, Soros money. Yep, Antifa and illegals at work. That's the unholy trinity, right? This won't last much longer. I'm liking how the illegals are stepping up to be deported. They are just making it a lot easier for Tom Homan to hunt them down. Idiots. Anyway, let's go to the members of 2CTV Plus as well. If we have them, do we have it ready? Yes, we do. If you want to be a member of 2CTV Plus and get more out of this channel, you only have a few hours late. This is the final day, few hours late to join as a member and get 37% off annual memberships. You can do that by using the promo code 2C37. You can either go on 2c.tv or find the link in the description under this video. As I said, you only have a few hours late to join as a member with the discount code, get access to the documentaries, uncensored shows, our podcasts, interviews, and most importantly, the chat forum if you want to talk to me directly and like-minded people. Now, scrolls away. By the way, later tonight, I'm going to be in the chat forum. If you guys want to come and say hello, I'll let you know when. Just make sure you've joined it, so I'll give you a heads up. Scrolls away say, why was King John in the front row butted up against the riot shield? He was bored. Only Me says, hi Maya, I hope you had a good rest. A couple of hours sleep. There's a total blackout on Ireland and English protests. Is this correct? I hope your dad is giving them hell. Stay safe, you nutters. Yeah, a little bit, but things will kick off again, especially when it comes to, well, the Republic, that's a different situation, the Republic of Ireland, but in terms of Northern Ireland, which is in the United Kingdom, we believe that the tensions are still there and it will probably implode again against the migrants and illegal migrants. Sarah says, I hope you enjoyed the rest of your birthday gathering. I think actual aliens would behave better than those illegal thugs and agitators. Yeah, it's interesting. It reminds me of how humans always assume that aliens will be violent. I think humans themselves are one of the most violent creatures compared to even the so-called aliens who might come to planet Earth. They might freak out saying, what on earth is happening here? These people are a drain on the country and should be stripped of their food stamps and Medicaid. Yep. And I mean, even those who are born in the US, I think if you're doing treason, you should be expelled from the country. Exile. Send them into exile. I cannot believe how out of control these people are. They need to grow up and appreciate their strong president. Wish we had him in the UK. Yeah, I know. Alicia says, happy Father's Day to all our fathers. Yes, happy Father's Day to everybody. especially in the UK. Susie says, I know this is going to sound crazy, but are people surprised that there has been a shooting in America during a protest? I'm surprised it hasn't happened already. When you call for global jihad, this is what you get. But yeah, you're just basically promoting more violence. Even if it's not the jihadis doing violence, you're just condoning it, and eventually things will break out. It is absolutely spot on. Now, going to some of the non-super chats, I'm not forgetting about you guys either. What is this? John Higgins says, lawmakers have been assassinated in Minnesota. Yes, as we mentioned, so yesterday was completely chaotic anyway. Unfortunately, 2CTV, we were busy. We still are busy with the situation in the Middle East, but it's also important to talk about what is happening on the streets of the US. The situation with the assassination of the lawmakers, that is going to be reaching a new level of investigation and conspiracy that we haven't seen in a very long time. This is not just on the surface the way it looks. It's going to get much worse. It's going to be exposing many things behind the scenes, and we're going to do a whole special show about that at some point. But yes, just it doesn't look good. The way chaos is being promoted in the United States while Trump is president, because they want to blame everything on Trump. Also, it's important because when it comes to the people who caused violence yesterday and again every day, it does undermine those who are protesting. So obviously a lot of us still disagree with the protest, but it's a democracy. The United States is a democracy. You're allowed to protest. You're allowed to march. You're allowed to say you don't like the president. That's fine. Free speech. But when those who come up and riot and loot the shops, in most of the major cities that we showed you, it also undermines the rest of them. And by the way, let's not forget, a lot of those protesters, not the rioters, the protesters also have sympathy when it comes to the rioters. Not all of them. Some of the protesters would say, oh, we hate President Trump, but oh no, Antifa just ruined it again. So they are different people. But they're both, I mean, at this point, most of them are against the values of the United States. If you're going out there against democracy, that means you do not like America, even if you claim that you do. Rich Cooper, I don't know what this guy's talking about, saying violence was not everywhere. This is all lies. Who said it was everywhere? Who said it was everywhere, you idiot? Well, no? Okay. Yeah, as I said, I also differentiated between the protesters and the rioters, but you clearly have some psychological issues. Dear something, our first aim is to get to 1 million subscribers. This channel deserves more than 30 million subscribers. So the minimum. Love, respect, and best wishes to you, family, and your channel. Thank you so much for that. We are going up quickly, guys. Nikki says, well reported, Maya. Thank you so much. Did someone say, where is the... Paul says, I can't accept the invite on Discord. How come? If you just go directly on 2c.tv, you should send you, when you click on the chat forum, it should send you to the Discord. And of course, download the Discord app and then it will send you. Just go directly on 2c.tv and you can do that. Also, guys, don't forget to download the 2CTV app as well. That's the best way to stay up to date with everything we do. All right. Democrat parties, Antifa, communists traded in their Palestinian flag for Mexican flags. Well, kind of, but they still had the Palestinian flags there. It was funny because once again, considering that this was supposed to be the No King's Day protests, right? This was supposed to be against Trump. And firstly, you had the Antifa communists, as usual. Fair enough. Then you had the Mexican flag, right? Then you had the champagne socialists and limousine liberals out there. We don't like Trump. Fair. Okay, cool. And then you had those wearing keffiyeh with the Palestinian flag saying globalize intifada from the river to the sea. I'm like, what's that got to do with your problem in the United States with President Trump? Nothing to do with anything. At least the Mexican flags make sense, right? The Mexican flag is like, I'm an illegal immigrant from Mexico. I want to be here. Why are you flying the Mexican flag if you don't like Mexico and if you want to stay in America? But at least it's relevant, right? You know, it's about symbolism that I'm from Mexico. And by the way, some of them are not from Mexico and they're just flying the Mexican flag. It's just, you know, solidarity. But it makes no sense why you're just randomly bringing out the Palestinian flags. But it's the Rainbow Coalition of Chaos. That's what it is. No, Matt says, Rosa Gabriel long ago exposed the Muslim Brotherhood agenda to destroy the Western civilization from inside. Yes, a lot of us have already covered that for the past 5 million years. It's still ongoing, unfortunately. Yes, that's a good point. George said they will have the Iranian flags next, or the Islamic Republic of Iran flags. Greta will be running a sweatshop to churn them out. Actually, that's a smart idea. I was very angry in 2020 when the first lockdown happened. I was like, I should have done a 2CTV face mask merch. I would have made so much money. But the problem was, the moment it happened, by that point, there were people who already started basically signing the contracts with all these Chinese sweatshops. They were getting the masks to come to the West, and then it was too late. If I had a time machine, I'll go back to 2019. Start making the face masks, even though I was fundamentally, and I still am fundamentally against face nappies. But it would have been a good business idea. You know. So right now, actually, yes, for the foreseeable future in the West, if you have the time and money, start making the Islamic Republic flags because there's going to be a lot of protesters standing up for the IRGC terrorists on the streets of Toronto, New York, London, Paris, everywhere. Oh, I'm looking forward to that. We already had them yesterday in London, by the way, in case you didn't know. More is gonna happen. Oh my God. Anyway, there is a lot happening. We're gonna take a break. We are gonna come back shortly to give you guys the latest update. Breaking news coming from Tehran, the capital of Iran. The Israeli Defense Forces are taking full control. Mossad are on the streets and doing their assassinations. The police headquarters has been brought down. The intelligence ministry has been brought down. And Vladimir Putin has now ordered the evacuation of the Russians from Iran. Subscribe to the channel. I'm Maya Tusi, and we are the media.